Hi everyone, welcome to MindBlend. Ever wondered how to control any situation? Today we unlock the secrets of the mind with 10 amazing psychological hacks. Imagine having the ability to sway a conversation, influence decisions, or simply have better control over your personal interactions. That's the power that psychological hacks can bring to your life. These are not manipulative tricks, but insights into human behavior and cognition that can help you navigate life's myriad situations with a bit more finesse. In this video, we're going to delve into 10 such psychological hacks. These are proven concepts rooted in scientific research, and they can be applied practically in our everyday lives. From improving your relationships to enhancing your negotiation skills, these hacks can provide you with a distinct edge. So, are you ready to unlock the power of your mind? Let's dive in. First on our list is the Benjamin Franklin effect. This fascinating psychological phenomenon suggests that if someone does you a favor, they are more likely to do another. Why? Well, it's all because they subconsciously believe they must like you if they've gone out of their way to help. It's a cognitive dissonance of sorts, our minds trying to align our actions with our feelings. So instead of feeling obligated or manipulated, we convince ourselves that we're helping because we genuinely like the person. It's a little mental trick we play on ourselves to justify our actions and maintain a positive self-image. Intriguing, isn't it? Psychology is full of such surprising and counterintuitive insights. So next time you need a favor, consider asking for a small one first. It might just set the stage for more help down the line thanks to the Benjamin Franklin effect. Next up, we have the door-in-the-face technique. This is a fascinating method of persuasion that operates on the principle of contrast. Here's how it works. First, you make a large, almost absurd request, knowing full well that it will likely be turned down. No, you're not setting yourself up for failure, you're setting the stage. When the initial request is refused, you follow up with a smaller, more reasonable request. In comparison to the first, this second request appears far more acceptable, and people are significantly more likely to agree. It's a clever way to manipulate perception and decision-making processes. Think about it like this. If you've just been asked to run a marathon and declined, agreeing to a 5K run suddenly doesn't seem so bad, right? So the door-in-the-face technique is all about leveraging the power of contrast and expectation. Remember, start big, then go small. It's more likely they'll say yes. Now let's explore the power of mirroring. Mirroring is a fascinating psychological hack. A simple yet powerful technique that involves subtly mimicking another person's body language, tone of voice, or even their words. When we mirror someone, we are essentially telling them that we are on the same wavelength. It's a way of saying, I understand you, I am like you, and you can trust me. Imagine you're in a conversation with someone who crosses their arms. If you subtly mirror their action, you're likely to make them feel more at ease. The same goes for matching their tone of voice or reflecting their choice of words. But remember, subtlety is key. Overdoing it can come off as mockery or mimicry, which can break the trust instead of building it. So, subtly mirror others to make them feel more comfortable and connected to you. Fourth on our list is the foot-in-the-door technique. Now, this is a fascinating strategy that operates on the principle of gradual escalation. It starts off by making a small, easily agreeable request to someone. Once they've agreed to this minor favor, they're more likely to agree to a larger, more significant request. Why does it work? Well, it's all down to our inherent need for consistency. Once we've committed to something, even something small, we're more likely to continue in the same direction. It's like a momentum of sorts. We want to be seen as consistent in our actions, decisions, and commitments. This technique is often used in sales and negotiation scenarios. For instance, a salesperson might first ask if you're interested in saving money on energy bills. Once you agree, they pitch the more significant request of switching your energy provider. Start small and build up. It's a simple yet effective way to get what you want. Next, let's discuss the scarcity principle. This fascinating concept plays a significant role in how we perceive value. It's a simple yet powerful idea. People tend to place a higher value on an object that is scarce and a lower value on one that is available in abundance. Think of it like this. If you've ever yearned for a limited edition item, you've experienced the scarcity principle in action. The rarity of the item increases its perceived value, making it more desirable. But this principle extends beyond material possessions. It can also apply to opportunities and experiences. An event that happens once in a blue moon is often seen as more valuable than a recurring event. The scarcity of the experience amplifies its appeal. This principle is often used in marketing strategies with phrases like limited stock or offer ends soon, creating a sense of urgency among consumers. Remember, scarcity drives desire. Use it to your advantage. Moving on to the reciprocity principle. This principle is one of the basic laws of social psychology. It's the idea that people feel an inherent obligation to return favors or reciprocate when they receive something. Think of it like an invisible social contract, an unspoken agreement that binds us. Picture this. You're at a supermarket and a salesperson hands you a free sample. Suddenly you feel a subtle pull to buy the product. That's the reciprocity principle at work. It's not manipulation, it's just human nature. We are wired to want to repay kindnesses, but it's not just about physical gifts. This principle can apply to actions, information, and even emotions. A kind word, valuable advice, a heartfelt smile. These can all trigger the impulse to reciprocate. So, next time you want to influence a situation, remember this principle. Give first, and you're likely to receive in return. So give a little to get a lot. It's a principle that works. 7th on our list is the halo effect. This fascinating psychological phenomenon is all about how our overall impression of a person, brand, product, or even an idea can be swayed by one positive quality or characteristic. Think of it like this. When someone is good-looking, we often automatically assume they're also kind, intelligent, and trustworthy. Or when a company is known for one excellent product, we tend to believe all their products are equally great. That's the halo effect in action. Now, how can you use the halo effect to your advantage? Simply put, focus on showcasing your best trait or accomplishment first. This creates a positive impression that can color the rest of your interactions. Whether you're at a job interview, a business meeting, or even on a first date, leading with your strengths can trigger the halo effect and influence how others perceive you. First impressions matter. Make yours count. Next, we delve into the bystander effect. This intriguing psychological phenomenon refers to the tendency of individuals to be less likely to extend help in an emergency situation when more people are around. Paradoxical, isn't it? You'd think the more people there are, the more help you'd get. This effect was first observed in the shocking case of Kitty Genovese, a woman who was tragically attacked in New York City while numerous people reportedly heard or saw the incident but did nothing to help. The bystander effect happens because of two main factors: diffusion of responsibility and social influence. Diffusion of responsibility means that people think someone else in the crowd will step up, so they don't have to. Social influence, on the other hand, suggests that people gauge how to react based on how others are behaving. So, in times of need, make your request for help specific and direct. It counteracts the bystander effect by assigning responsibility, ensuring someone steps in to lend a hand. 9th on our list is the anchoring bias. This fascinating cognitive bias is all about the power of first impressions. In essence, we humans have a tendency to heavily rely on the first piece of information we're exposed to, especially when making decisions. This initial information, often referred to as the anchor, tends to set the tone for everything that follows. For instance, in a negotiation scenario, the first price that's put on the table often serves as a reference point for the rest of the conversation. Even if that initial price is arbitrary, it tends to anchor our perception of what's reasonable or fair going forward. But here's the interesting part. We can harness the power of the anchoring bias to our advantage. By intentionally setting an anchor that favors our interests, we can subtly influence the direction of decisions and negotiations. So next time you're in a negotiation, remember this psychological hack. Remember, the first number thrown out in a negotiation has a big impact. Use this to your advantage. Last but not least, we have the contrast effect. This is a fascinating psychological phenomenon that influences how we perceive things, not in isolation, but in relation to others. Take a moment and imagine this. You lift a light object and then a heavier one. The heavier object feels even heavier because you just experienced the light one. That's the contrast effect in action. This effect extends beyond physical sensations to our judgments and decisions. For example, a product may seem more expensive when placed next to a cheaper one, or a task may seem more difficult when compared to an easier one. The contrast effect essentially suggests that our perception and evaluation of something is significantly influenced by its comparison to something else. This is why context matters so much in our everyday experiences and decisions. So, remember this. Our perceptions are not always objective. They are often relative, contrasting with the things around us. So things aren't always as they seem. It's all about perspective. And there we have it, 10 powerful psychological hacks you can use to control any situation. From the Benjamin Franklin effect, which fosters goodwill through requesting small favors, to the door-in-the-face technique, where a large request is followed by a smaller one to increase compliance. We've looked at the power of mirroring, a method to build rapport and connection, and the foot-in-the-door technique, where a small request paves the way for larger ones. We've discussed the scarcity principle, where perceived scarcity can increase desire, and the reciprocity principle, which leverages our innate desire to return favors. We've explored the halo effect, where positive impressions in one area can influence perceptions in another, the bystander effect, where the presence of others can discourage individual action, and the anchoring bias and contrast effect, both of which can heavily influence our decision-making process. Thank you for watching MindBlend. Don't forget to subscribe for more insightful videos like this one. Until next time, keep blending your mind.